Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 458 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Let's start with one DC film update, maybe two, we'll see. But Birds of Prey photos and details appear in new issue of Total Film. And here we go. This is one of the pictures here. A little bit from Kathy Yan speaking with Total Film. Director Kathy Yan has cleared things up to a degree. It's really a big sandbox to play in. I was given an opportunity to do something that was quite different and wasn't a sequel in any way. So even more more evident to the fact that this is not exactly a part two of Suicide Squad. There's going to be some bits and pieces that are brought over from Suicide Squad, but not that much. It's its own thing. More pictures here. These are new. A little bit about Harley, but we kind of know where she's at. She according to Margot Robbie, I think Harley borders on a villain and an anti-hero. In darker depictions, she could be playing for the darker side and a more straight up villain. In this film, she's kind of doing the right thing ultimately, but she's not a moral person, so I consider her more of an anti-hero. So more of that. So yeah, Birds of Prey comes out, scheduled to hit theaters on February 7th of 2020. No official new final trailers or anything like that. Possibly maybe coming by January. Probably actually, because February 7th, come on. But yeah, that is more of that. I like this more subdued color, by the way. I mean, some of the other ones where it's just too much blue and red and it's just really poppy. This has got a little bit of that grit in there, which I think I like more of for that. So next is Black Superman. Yeah, Black Suit Superman. Black Suit Superman from Zack Snyder's Justice League, signed by real life hero Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill was in, I believe, Malaysia, where he was signing autographs and such, and he actually signed this one. And this is just for fun. He took a couple videos of him trying to get Henry Cavill's attention. Here's one.
With you in a second. With you in a second.
With you in a second. So he saw him. He kind of just brought up the picture of Black Suit Superman and says, "Hey, sign this." And of course, Henry Cavill kind of looked up, and here's a little bit of him signing it. If you want to see his reaction, if there is a reaction, well, let me tell me what you think about this reaction.
There you go. And your pen back.
Here we go.
On properly.
Nu tar man med den. Greetings from Poland.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
So he didn't say anything. Didn't say a single word, but
Nu tar man med den. Greetings from
it's a little bit of a smile. I think he cracked a little of a smile. I don't know if he was irritated. He did just stare at for a second.
Nu tar man med den.
Just for a second, and then he decided to sign it, and which is why we got that right now. So, cool. At least he didn't just, cross it off or put the picture aside. He's very well aware of what's going on online. The Black Suit Superman reveal, decided to sign it, which is cool. I think that's as good as any in terms of him supporting the Snyder Cut. Of course, he's just being nice. It's a fan after all. He's not gonna sign it, but at the same time, it's nice to see, Henry Cavill at least acknowledging, actually seeing it. But he is so good with his reaction, we don't even know if he's happy or sad. But I could have sworn there's a crack of a smile there. Like at the second, after he gets to the second page. And he's got a little bit of crack there. Maybe. I don't know. Wishful thinking. But cool. At least he acknowledged that. Zack Snyder. Like I've talked about yesterday, that he has met up with Ezra Miller and a bunch of other people, including the Black Ranger. But he revealed on Vero that he was working with Zack Snyder on a project for Ezra Miller. So, and we're thinking it's probably a music video or a commercial or something. Maybe doing some favors, just, helping Ezra out. Maybe Ezra will help him out. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. Awesome to hang out with this amazing force of nature. Amazing speed force of nature. But, yeah, at least there's your confirmation. Zach had spent a little bit time with Ezra, and I don't know what that entails, whether they were able to get to watch the Snyder Cut off his phone, or it's just helping out a friend and possibly talking about the future of Justice League. So we'll get more of that as we continue. Clay Staub, again, the second unit DP is releasing. It seems to be pretty daily nowadays. Another picture from when he was on the set of Justice League in UK, September 22nd, 2016. Released, well, he spelled it wrong. The Snyder cut should be Snyder cut, but other people have done that as well, accidentally. No thanks to Twitter. But this is the car. This is Bruce Wayne's car. This is where he picked up the Flash, and they rode off. So this was what was filmed at that time. Incredible stuff. So awesome to see Clay continuing to be supportive of the Snyder Cut. And I'm really happy about that. Here's another one. This is a picture. Let me see if we can get some context here. Justice League stunt performer Errol Ismail says Warner Brothers cut the Atlanteans versus Parademon scene for being too violent. This is the crew, the stunt crew. Here, the Atlanteans with the Parademons in the background. Maldivian Superman, who is a fan, what happened in those scenes? They replied, or a person replied, it was way too violent, so they cut it. Violent? How so? Can't say, bro. I'm under a NDA contract. So he very much reveals that he is under an NDA contract, which is interesting to say the least, seeing that other people have kind of come out disregarding the NDA. So interesting to see that there is some type of NDA maybe once again. There's something to be said about that. Maybe? Am I thinking too far ahead in this? We'll see if any of that is anyway. So, but NDA contract, non-disclosure agreement, is certainly interesting. But also, how violent were those scenes? Like, was it Parademons possibly killing the Atlanteans in such a violent, crazy, scary way? It was short. That scene was very short for the amount of work they put into the suits and costumes. You would think you would see a little bit more, but it was very short. So it's possibly this was a very a larger, extended fight, and much more. A much more, what do you call it? Possibly a much more violent take than what we saw on the screen. Maybe along the rated R, possibly, making the Parademons a lot more scarier, a lot more things to be feared, a lot more dangerous than what actually happened in the Justice League version, right? So I think. I would really love to see that, and I'm pretty sure that is one of the things that Zack Snyder has in his Snyder Cut of Justice League, so that's cool. But it's great to see that these people are kind of in a way, answering questions as much as they can, even though they're under an NDA contract, right? Someone else who seems to be under an NDA contract, and it's JunkieXL. Now, it's kind of funny because he did reveal some stuff about Justice League a few weeks ago, or even a month ago, actually, and things and such. But now it seems like he's back to being tight-lipped. So this is someone who asked JunkieXL, Tom Holkenberg, on his YouTube live stream about his work with Zack Snyder. This is what he had to say.
Nothing. Question, can you tell us something about your work with Zack Snyder? Okay, that was that answer. Next, let's move on. Do we have some more interesting questions?
And that's all he has said. Just.
Okay, that was that answer.
So, also under some type of NDA as well. Just like Chris Terrio, who is right now doing all the Rise of Skywalker at the premiere right now, at the red carpet. I think they're finished watching it already. And he cannot say anything for a few more months. Just like it seems like JunkieXL all of a sudden got close-lipped about that. And I'm wondering why that is. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the NDA has been almost like it's been reinstated as such, or in terms of these people who have come out recently and now kind of just come back now? I don't know. I don't know how these things work, unless this is, I don't know, maybe it's possible maybe the Snyder Cut is coming, or a version of it, and they have to put another NDA on top of it, right? A new one, because, that's what happens when a new project is in place. There's some non-disclosure agreements. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just trying to speculate on why people all of a sudden Junkie can't say anything and such. So, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. It's all a waiting game at this point, right? This I saw, and I thought this was kind of interesting. Paulus, I can't say that last. He said this: "Today I got some unexpected info from one source that made me dream and made me wonder things related to this image. Sort of. I don't know if I'm letting my expectations cloud my judgment, but I'd rather ask respectfully again to Warner Media Group to release the Snyder Cut." Now, he goes on further. "In the meanwhile, I share mine. I happen to know a person who has the license for official DC Comics cloths in my country. He's not really a fan. He is a businessman who isn't even aware of the Snyder Cut movement. Okay, this past week, he had meetings with people from DCWB. Well, in his reunion, they showed him 15 minutes of the Birds of Prey movie. And here comes the interesting part, that for the next year, Darkseid's going to be used because there's something happening with the character. Now, he wondered if he could be related to a TV show, or maybe the New Gods one. As we know, this isn't possible, as it's not even in pre-production, but in the planning stage. I wonder what could be that Darkseid. Without a movie, is a character to be used in marketing and clothes. As I've told you, this may or may not be something, but it made me dream nonetheless." So that is very, I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, if he's right, and if his friend is truly works for this company that makes official Warner Brothers DC merchandise, or in this way clothing, and they have Birds of Prey, that makes sense. Possibly Wonder Woman 84, he didn't say that, but I'm guessing. Why is there Darkseid? Why is there images of Darkseid? And like you said, New Gods is the only other thing that Darkseid would be coming out from, but that is still in the planning stages. We haven't even got, they're still writing it. They haven't even got to designing any characters and such, as far as we know. There is also possibly, well, Darkseid was going to be revealed in Krypton, right? But Krypton's been right now canceled, or at least it's going to move over to another channel, maybe. So that could be something as well. Or the third one, and probably pretty cool, and that's why I'm talking about it, is that it could be related to the Snyder Cut. If they are going to release the Snyder Cut of Justice League, which we know full well it has Darkseid in it, does that mean they want to capitalize and market it by putting it on merchandise? Usually toys and clothing and all this art are done way before a movie comes out. And we know that movie was made, right? We know that they have Darkseid, and it's possible that this is early merchandise for it. Maybe. I don't know. And that's all speculation. And if you know me by now, most of my channel is about speculation. But if in any case, it does get me kind of excited to hear something like that brewing. It becomes a little bit more than this person saw this scene and stuff like that, because it's kind of like, oh, okay, the steps within marketing, within the process of how this movie gets marketed, some of that seems to be happening along the lines. If that's what's happening here. But in any case, I want to talk about yesterday. Yesterday, a lot of people watched my video. Thank you very much. But there were half of them were excited and half were sad. They actually reached out to me and said that your video made me sad. And I'm like, why did it make you sad? And I think they might have got confused from what I've been talking about, right? Where the 214 is a compromised vision. Well, I don't mean to divide the fandom or make things sad. I thought it was pretty exciting because of what some of us have been kind of just wondering and hearing and feeling like it's maybe to the point where all this release, the Snyder Cut movement has done was unlock something for Zack to be able to present perhaps the original vision to the table, which is what Zack wants, right? And shouldn't we be happy to let Zack get what he wants, right? And we've heard say that, even Dave from Junkie has said this, that there's something there is precedence right now that is possible that Zack could possibly negotiate everything he wants. And I thought it was confusing when people were saying, well, just release the 214 one because that's the one that's complete, that's done and stuff. But as you know, and I hope you know, that wasn't originally what Zack wanted, right? He made that. He had to make that, and that was the most complete. That's his version. But it still has Jeff Johns' influence in this. So I want to take you back to this video, and maybe it'll become a little bit more clear about that Justice League version. So listen to this.
No. What I was going to say is that, look, when this movie came out,
Batman
understand that we had written... Chris Terry and I had finished the script for Justice League before this movie came out, right? So that script was done. Movie came out, and some people didn't like the movie. A vocal minority. and so I was asked by the studio to say, hey, you can't, there's a lot of stuff we don't want you to do from that script. So we did a rewrite, right, of the script. So the original Justice League that Chris and I wrote, we didn't even shoot. I mean, there's a lot of it that we shot, but the actual idea, the hard idea, the scary idea, we never filmed because the studio was like, that's crazy. And we were so insecure at the time after this movie came out, we were just like, I guess it is crazy. Like, we're fucking nuts. Like, what are we, there's gonna be mass hysteria in the streets if we film this. Apparently,
All right.
it's a long story.
Okay, just want to know is that I know some people here. So that's what he talked about at the Batman v Superman panel. And that was at the, what do you call it? We call it the Snyder Con, but the Art Center, where he showed his director's cuts, right? And the last one was Batman v Superman. And so he reveals it right there. Plain and simple. Just that they had a whole script, a Justice League script. And when he means Justice League, I want you to really think about this for a second, okay? When he means Justice League script, it's not Justice League Part 1. It's not Justice League Part 2. It's not Justice League Part 3. It's Justice League, meaning it's the entire Justice League vision, which he relates to as if you keep watching the video, and if you go ahead and check out this video as well. But that's the script. The script is the entire Justice League vision. So, and you hear him. The studio says no. Not going to do it. We want you to rewrite that, right? But he did. He rewrote that into what he was able to accomplish in his current 214-minute cut, right? That's rewritten. So it is, in a way, you can say compromised in a bit, right? Because that's not the original script that him and Chris Terrio wrote. Now, that original script that he wrote, it's huge, right? It's from the beginning to end of it. And later on, they would chop that up to Justice League 1, Justice League 2, and 3. But I also like what he said. He said, we shot a lot of it, but not the scary parts. So, that is, I love that, because that means there is so much already in that 214 cut that he did shoot, he did put out, right? But when he's going to release the Justice League, the Snyder cut, it's going to have the changes so that, in effect, it will allude to the coming other parts of that Justice League script, including the Nightmare thing, which is, and Bruce dying, which is Justice League 2 and 3. Okay, so that's what I was trying to say. I did not, I may have said it in the wrong way, and I apologize, but what I meant is that the Snyder Cut, the whole campaign did so good that it brought the studio, or at least Warner Media Group and HBO Max, interest into saying, well, how about we let you do it your way? And that gave Zack the opportunity to say, oh, okay, well, how's this? When I released the Snyder Cut, and this whole conversation is my speculation, I do know that part of the negotiation is on the table, but let me clear this up. What I'm assuming, what is being tossed around, I'm assuming is that when he's being given the opportunity to adjust the Snyder Cut in a way that it will allude to 2 and 3. You don't do that unless you know you're getting 2 and 3, okay? Because that's the rabbit hole. That's the hole. That's the rabbit hole that we want to, that in Wonderland, that's the one. That's the pill. What's the red pill? I forget. The pill that goes into the Matrix, right? That's what it is. The Snyder Cut started all that. It gave HBO Max something. They're like, oh, what more can you do with that? And I believe that is why Zack Snyder put out that in his Justice League, it will be a black suit, and that it will not evolve into the blue suit until the end of the journey. If he felt that the Snyder Cut, it was going to end right then and there, he would have kept the blue suit in. He would keep the blue suit. He would keep the shot of him ripping the shirt open and him flying away, right? He would keep that because that's it. That's it. But for him to say, well, my Superman's going to be a black suit, and my original vision was that Justice League 1 was going to have him in the black suit. So we know that means he has every intention to continuing off. The opportunity is on the table. So yeah, I am all in for Zack's vision. And if Zack wants, which looks like it is, that he wants to be able to finish this whole thing the way he wanted it before Warner Brothers meddled on it, then I'm all for it. And I think everybody should be, which is part that I'm confused with. You should be all for him editing that cut that he has so that it matches in line and alludes to a bigger arc, which is 2 and 3. Now, remember this poster that Abdul and Amateur Watch and McD had teased that and our T Snyder Cut during our Release the Snyder Cut battle, our hype week on November 17th, right? And I said these are the words here, and they confirmed that these are Zack Snyder's words here. So when you look at this, right? These are Zack Snyder's words. There's one on Batman and one on Wonder Woman. That's interesting. I know Nathan just pointed that out. Thank you, Nathan. That it's interesting that before Ben Affleck said release the Snyder Cut, before Gal said release the Snyder Cut, this poster came out, and notice it was written on Ben. Notice it was written on Wonder Woman, like he knew what was going to happen, right? So that's kind of cool. I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, this part is pretty self-explanatory, where you reach if you stop at the theatrical cut, then the story ends, you wake up, and it's fine. But if you want to go further, right? If you want to go further, you release the Snyder Cut. You stay in Wonderland. I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. How deep the rabbit hole goes. And I can't wait. I want to see how deep. Okay, so we shouldn't be divided. I don't understand. The Release of Snyder Cut. What we did on the week of November 17th was extraordinary. It did something good. Zack Snyder said we did good. We did our part. We did. We opened the doors. We showed a corporation that we mean business, that it worked, that we want this movie, that a lot of people, the world, we made it mainstream. We did our part. We did good. We did it. Now let's go down the rabbit hole together. Dream big. I promise you. It's on the table. I promise you. And that's what excites me the most. Like other people have said, who are kind of in the know on this, we are winning. We are indeed winning. And it is inevitable. Not only will get the Snyder Cut, but it is open to the possibility of getting more. Like for real, more. Like it's not even a tinfoil thing anymore. It's reality. It's crazy. I know. But until then, like we said, we still need the first Justice League movie, and it's great it feels like that it will be edited in such a way that it will be his original Justice League 1 vision, before Warner Brothers rather, told him to rewrite it, and before Jeff Johns even stepped in. So that is fantastic. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. Please keep your hope up, dream big, be positive, and think about what we're going to get possibly next year. All right, guys. I'll see you next time.